I pitched this idea internally. Let's tease just using his back to see how long would it take. It took less than a minute for someone to guess right.
What would surprise people with my job here at Metacore is probably how close marketing and the story are. So I'd say we have about 3 major components to Merge Mansion, which are the brand, the game itself, and the story. And we don't think of those as 3 different things, really.
We're all so excited with the things we can create and how we can collaborate together to do something different or tell the story in a really fascinating way.
We all work on all of those 3 elements. So I think that's the special ingredient to our work here at Merge Mansion and Metacore. We've been growing super fast. We're one of the fastest growing mobile games companies in Europe. Just 3 years ago, we were 15 people and now we're already at 170. Our first hit game was or is Merge Mansion. Merge Mansion currently has just about 49 million downloads. And in that game, in Merge Mansion, you help Maddie, our main character, renovate this old mansion and the mansion grounds to uncover the family's secrets and eventually find out what Grandma is hiding. Metacore is a Helsinki-based studio, and our mission is to entertain hundreds of millions of players for decades. So quite an ambitious goal there.
Our philosophy is to make games that our audience loves to play. This means that we do a lot of research, we do a lot of studies, we collect a lot of data from our players. This all is done in order to understand the audience better, so we know what they like and what they don't like. This allows us to make a lot of informed decisions later down the line. It all boils down to understanding the audience. We try to understand the audience, and based on that, we can make these informed decisions.
So the audience for Merge Mansion specifically, it can vary a lot because let's say that we have a target audience that is the adult and let's say mostly females, but actually when you see the community online and the people that are most vocal, they can vary a lot.
A big part is looking outside. What other games do they play? What does seem to work? We have insights on our own games, for example, but we also do look at other games that players like to play. These usually form the basis of everything what we do. Then we try to do some steps. We try to find out what works in these games and what doesn't seem to work. And we try to improve the parts that don't work, and we keep the parts that do work.
What makes a Metacore game is the fact that the players come first. You know, we want to make world-class games where the players are the closest thing to being the boss. That's what our motto is. We want the players to have the best experience they can, and we deliver on that. And we continue to try and give the players as best an experience as possible.
We at Metacore think that brand and story is super important to a mobile game.
I, for one, am very passionate about story, which is one of the first things that switched me on to Merge Mansion in the first place. It has an incredible way of telling stories, and that doesn't stop with the audio. We really kind of look into what the narrative is going to bring, what story is coming in the content, and I personally love to drop a lot of Easter eggs and a lot of nods and all these little nuggets in the soundtrack and the sound design that some people have found, others people haven't yet, and you know, there's a lot of really nice stuff in there.
Within mobile games, performance marketing has been such a huge driver, and the scale has been so massive that it's been dominating the industry. However, when you think long term and what you want to achieve long term, in that space, we feel that branding and story are those elements that keep our players coming to the game for decades, and you know, in the masses, all wanting to know what Grandma is hiding.
And what is Grandma hiding?
Afraid I can't tell you that.
Might surprise people how many messages we get on let's say, private DMs and all that, how many messages we get of people asking to know Grandma's secret. People really get into the play, and we've had the craziest, funniest ways of people trying to get us to spill the beans. So we got someone saying that they would dress as Grandma for Halloween if we would reveal the secret just to them. We really get people immersed into the universe of Merge Mansion, saying that they really want to know what she's up to.
So what is she up to? What is the secret?
This is the time that I live. I'm not gonna tell what Grandma's up to. It's a secret that I'm taking with me, and I guess we gotta play the game. My favorite thing about the Merge Mansion community is really how immediate and how vocal they are about things. Of course, there's the downside of if an update is not well received, we will listen. But it's also really fun to see how they are also vocal when things are going right, and how they are willing to help each other and all these things. And this vocal thing is so funny because actually when we were launching the campaign with Pedro Pascal, I pitched this idea internally. Let's tease just using his back to see how long would it take. It took less than a minute for someone to guess right. So it's really crazy to see how vocal and how immediate this community is.
The marketing assets are very greatly tied to our story and narrative of Merge Mansion. So they're very well connected, and that's the same sonically. So we try to bring the story and narrative together both in the ads and in the game and tie everything all together in a nice little bow.
Or we always try to entertain our audiences, whether it is the game, it's the ads or events or bigger campaigns. You may have seen the campaigns that we've done with Kathy Bates and Pedro Pascal. And those are the types of entertainment forms that we think will engage our players.
Think, what would Grandma do?
My favorite thing about working on Merge Mansion is that it's at the intersection of technology, marketing, and entertainment. And that's really like where I like to operate. And then when you get to do it with really nice people that share that passion and that those huge ambitions, that's really special. Well, the future of Metacore and Merge Mansion looks very bright as we keep on expanding the world of Merge Mansion and trying to surprise and even delight our players and fans. So as we keep on expanding our team, we have the chance to create even more surprising twists and turns for the fans and keep on expanding the universe that is Merge Mansion. And at the same time, we're working on multiple other games projects here at Metacore.
We're working on new projects, we're expanding the Merge Mansion story, and in general, I think new things are coming. It's always exciting to be here. We're constantly trying to come up with new ways to entertain our audience.